So I am replacing two openers today. This one is from ancient history. Usually have a date code on it somewhere. I can't see that one. But this one is from 1992. This motor's older than me. I was born in December 92. So replacing two openers with some customer supplied ones from Menards. About 200 bucks a piece. Before I get started on installing a new opener, you have to make sure that the door is rolling pretty good. And this one's not great. I get a little bit of resistance right about here. So that tells me that either the back track is, if you look at this track spacing, you see I can fit something in there, or my finger in between that, and then this one, not so much. So this is kicked in, causing resistance. And then this side, I believe, is even worse. You can kind of see the track being bent, so we're gonna get that straightened out before I replace the motor. Some people do this with the door closed. I don't mind doing it with the door open. All I'm gonna do is move it one hole out, and then I'll have to adjust this bracket as well. I moved it one hole out, so what I'm gonna do now is tighten it back up. As you can see, it's not level. So all you need to do is kind of knock it so you think it's level. You could put your level on there as well, but it's pretty damn close, good enough. And now I'm going to fix this bracket. Usually you kind of want this bracket as low as possible. Whoever cut this, cut it short. But you want it as low as possible so it has less likely to kick. Although this probably won't kick at all, but you kind of would rather have the kicking point be down here than up here. Now that I've adjusted the kickers and the back hangs, I shouldn't get any resistance on the front of the door now. If I do get any more resistance, it's probably because of these rollers. These are plastic rollers. They're cheap. They come in like most basic Menards boxes. You're gonna want to get nylon rollers. They last longer, door rolls quiet. But let's see here. That's better. Still some, but it's because the rollers stink. All right, let's lube up the rollers. Put the door in the down position, lubing them up. The only reason why you do that is if you're lubing up in the air, you're spraying this kind of all over the place. Doesn't help that these dog hairs all up in it, but people might say, you're just there to install the openers. Well, the openers don't run right, and then I'll get called back when your door runs like shit. You want to spray the pivot points on the hinges. You can spray the springs and bearings also. These are the rollers. These plastic rollers, yeah, will this lubrication help? Probably a little bit. Oh, oops. All right, now when I lift the door up, it should be a little bit more quiet. That's not a good sign, but you can also move up the track too, especially in this where it turns. It sounds like it's coming from this top roller, honestly, but you can only do so much with these plastic rollers. If there's still noise, you really can't do much. All right, that's about as good as it's gonna get. I'm gonna repeat that on the next door. All right, now that both doors are rolling properly, lose them up, checked everything, we're all good. We're time to take down the motor. First thing I'm gonna do is take the light bulb out. And then I am going to cut these wires. Make sure you leave enough for some splicing, or if you need to reach the new holes or the new plugins for the wires. So actually, first thing I'm gonna do is unplug and unplug. That won't be needed anymore for the new motor. And then cut this back, because the new motors right there should have could be either on either side or in the back. It won't be in the front. At least I haven't seen it in the front in a while. These are usually 3/8 bolt with a 1/2 inch head, so get usually a deep well bit. I take one side off and then leave one side not like very, very loose, only because when I take that out, when I move it back, if I have both of these off, nothing's gonna catch and it's just gonna fall to the ground and make a mess. So take this loose. Honestly, I'm probably gonna replace these brackets because, as you can see, they're bent metal, which is not great at all. Put the light bulb off to the side. Let's check on the new motors if it works. And so I'm gonna go to the front now and unbolt that. These are 7/16 lag screws, so that doesn't seem like it was holding anything. Neither was that one. Okay, now this is loose, or should be loose. Rest it on there. Whenever you're mounting a new one, you probably want to go an inch or two above the spring line. So like, I'm going to mount the next one up here. Also, this spring line kind of looks like it should have a support in the middle, but when you order these doors from Menards, they don't come with the support in the middle. Well, when it's like a 8x7 or 9x7, but it is a 16x7, they'll come with this little like U bracket, and you lag it to there and it holds this line up, but this one didn't come with it, I guess. I didn't install this door, so not entirely sure what happened. Now it's on take. Now this is what I'm talking about on removing it and keep it. So I got this bolt in there, that's ready to come out. I like to hold the J-arm up. That's loose now, and then just rock this back and forth. It is now gonna come out. And that's how you take the motor out. I'm gonna do the same thing on that side. Just for a little observation on why you should have those support brackets in the middle of the spring line, because if you're looking at that, you can see that there's a little dip in the middle. And when it comes to like being precise and having the door working right, that dip can mean a whole lot. And it's visually unpleasing. It's gross, but you can see the dip there too. You always want to have that support bracket. But when you order from Menards, I would say don't. But if you order an 8x7 or 9x7 or anything that is not as wide as a double wide, you're gonna have that. So most other garage door suppliers will have a bracket in the middle to hold that up. And it's actually a metal piece. The one that comes with Menards is a plastic piece that you can break off. It'll probably break in a couple of years, honestly, because of all the conditions that that piece will be in. Cold, hot, anything. So another learning experience, if this is ever locked in place, door's closed and you're trying to get this pin out, unlock it, it takes pressure off this front. And then you take, sometimes it's a pin, cotter pin. This time it's this. And I might have to take my gloves off to get this off because I cannot. There we go. Then I like to bring this all the way to the back. So when I take the motor down, everything's back there and never not swinging in front. Whoops. All right. Now, and this is why I always keep one nut semi-loose on here, because this is what's holding it right now. So, and I can actually take this down too. I'm to clean all that up. All right. I'll get that. And down we go. Easier to do it two people, but sometimes you don't have the luxury. And that's how you remove openers. I always remove all hardware, the front bracket. I usually, sometimes if the back hangs look good, I'll keep them. But in this case, these ones were bent and junk. I got 2-inch angle iron that I'll put up there, or 1-inch angle iron that I'll put up there. And let's get started on putting them back in. I'm going to show some of the assembly for this opener. I'm not going to show you everything. I'm going to show you the most important parts. Starting with when you're putting this rail together, there's this window right here. You want this in the front, and then you want this tab facing up. So we'll start there. Next thing, you're going to slide this on. This faces backwards. Sometimes there's a sticker on there that'll tell you which way is front and which way is back. But doing this for so long, this is back. It's not that all the time, but on these Chamberlains, it is. I put a screwdriver right here so it can't travel any more forward. So when I move this back and forth, and this is the last piece that goes in. If you have a 7-foot door, or I'm sorry, an 8-foot door, you're gonna need an extension kit. In this case, I don't need an extension kit, so I can't explain that to you. That's that. And these are 1/2 inch. Take those out, plug them back in there, and then run the chain. I'll show you that in a minute. So, I had to put this together. This is called a master link. It looks like this. So you have this, that, and the lock. So you put that here. I like to go this facing down, and then putting the washer and lock underneath it. And then you got to come over here. This bolt's only gonna go in one way, and I'll show you. See how it's fat on this head right here? So it's not gonna go in this way. This has to go in like this. This hole's a little bigger, and that's how you know you have it the right way as well. So, and then you get a lock washer and a nut, and I will tighten that up at the end. And then you run this. Make sure your make sure your chain is not have any kinks in it. Like there's a kink right there, along with some dog hair. We'll address that. No. And with this extra link, I will put that. There's a. This will go in here. And then I'll put that on. So you wrap it around, you put it in this groove, you wrap it around, make sure you keep it straight. You don't want it to be twists and turns. You wrap it around the gear, and you bring it here. you put the master link on that I showed you here. Master link, washer, lock. And then with this long bolt, you put a nut, washer, and another nut. And then as you tighten this outside nut, the chain will get tighter. You can't get a drill or a, like, this is the, oh. You're gonna wanna hold that side. As you can see, it's getting tighter, but it's still not as tight as I want it, so I have to move this bolt back. Put it that tight for now, and then once I get the motor up there, I'll see if I need to tighten it or loosen it more. But as you can see, this thing's twisted, so that should be pretty tight. Should be good to go there. All right, now I'm gonna bring it up there. Eventually, I'm gonna do the same thing to this one and go from there. So as I was putting this together, I did forget one step was to put this guide on. It's 1/4-inch bolts or screws right there. You take them out, slide this in, button them down, and this guide will help avoid the chain bouncing here and also guide it onto the gear. Next step is, some people do this at the end. I like to assemble all on the ground. Is you have your J-arm attachment. And you're going to take, there's 3 of these in the box that comes with it. You're going to take the smallest one. All these have a reason. You're going to take the smallest one and you're going to put it here. These 2 are meant for, the larger of it is meant to go when you're mounting the header bracket. That will go right there, and then this one attaches from the J-arm to the door, which will be right here. Sometimes if you're leaving this bracket and this won't go all the way through, use the old motor one that you took down to mount it. It'll work just as fine and it'll be okay. But let's go from there now. Another step I'm going to show you is these safety sensors. Those old motors didn't come with safety sensors, so I have to run these myself. And since these doors are back to back, you don't want the main safety sensor, or the brains of the operation I like to call it, be facing towards each other, because you can get one to trip the other door and the other one to trip the other door, and it won't be good. So these usually have writing on them. So one has writing on it. So this is the brains of the operation. This one just acts like a mirror. So I want to put this one that has writing on it. It's going to go on this door on this left side. So it's going to go right there. And then I'm going to put the other one on there. When I do this door, the writing one is going to go on this right side, and then the mirrored one is going to go on the left side. So that way they're not facing each other. Because if I put this one on the right side and this one on the other written one on the left side, the brains of the operation, they'll create a beam going across, and I could be walking out this door and it trips this door and vice versa. So I am going to face the brains of the operation. This should be yellow or orange or green. It'll be one right there, not facing each other. I'll show you how I assemble them really quick there too. So you take this, there's these long screws right here, and then here's this. You'll put that screw through, and then you'll find these butterfly nuts. And you want to tighten them so the lens is right there. Done. And then usually put some pigtails in it like this one. So I'm preparing to put the opener up, and there's this bracket that comes with it that usually goes here. But since this one already has probably a better bracket, has more integrity, it's bolted into the door, I am not going to use this. So I probably will save it, honestly, because it doesn't hurt to have extra parts on your truck. So extra. And remember I was telling you that the old pin, I'll probably save that as well. A few things I'll be able to throw out here, which those aren't them yet, but these are. Now let's put this up. Now I am putting on the header bracket, and it says header right here. That's how you know it's the right one. It's a little larger in between these two wings. So putting two lags in that are 7/16 heads. So I'm going to try to center it up to here as best as I can. A couple inches above the spring line's all right. And then if your wood split, I would replace your wood. Some people put high and low, left and right. Not sure if there's a correct way of doing it, or if you do all four. Got 3 in there. This side has a nail, so I don't think I'll be able to get that in there. This is going to be fine. This ain't going to pull out. Right now I'm cutting the angle for the opener. I got lucky that there's a ginormous dog cage there. I can rest it on that. Don't open the door, but I can rest it on that without damaging the motor. I'll show you how I came up with the measurements once I get back up there. When you're hanging openers, you want to hang it, get the door open, and measure on how long you need these hangers. So I'm going to show you what I did. So I gotta scoot this over for sure, but you see how there's like an inch or two gap between the door and the rail? I want to scoot this over to the center, so I'm gonna do that now. And now it's dead center. Looks good, looks level. I'm hoping that this cord will reach that plug now. Might have to get down from the ladder. Yeah, I will. I have to run the wires now, and I'll show you how I did that. So running these wires, all you need is a staple gun and T25 staples, 3/8, 10mm. That's the shape you want them. If you get them flat, like square, and you just go to staple, they'll split the wire. So sometimes they'll already be ran for you, depending on the house you're working on. These ones come semi pre-assembled. You might have to splice sometimes, especially if you have an 8-foot door. I'm going all the way to the ceiling and coming over and then going back. In some cases, they do make a like groove, like it's a plastic groove you could snap into here and then run those across. In this case, we don't have that choice. Usually you buy those directly from the manufacturer, LiftMaster, Chamberlain, so on and so forth. So that's why I'm going to the ceiling and then coming back. So I will show you after what's done. Right now I am splicing in the wires. You can tie them together if you want. You don't have to. Just match black with black, or striped striped and white with white. Come on, grab. Okay. Same thing with white to white. It's hard to tell, but these are color coordinated. The red and white are for the wall button, and the black and white are for the safety sensors that are, as you can see, are lit up. So, and then the one issue I ran into, which is not an issue, I could probably get it to go, is if this is ever short, you can also splice more onto it. And with this package, it did come with more wire that I could splice onto it. And you can wrap it with wire ties, or I forgot what they're called. I use them. They're like a crimp. And you can do that as well. I think I'll be able to make this work, but if your wires are ever too short, you can always splice from them. I do always like leaving a little bit of wire, because if this is ever needed to be moved or dropped or anything, it has that. I need to change out that wall button now. That's the old one, so I'll do that next. So as you can see, they're both working. They're lit up orange. That's how you know they're on. All it is a red and white wire, so that's kind of self-explanatory. If you remember earlier, I was talking about the brains of the operation facing out. This is what I mean. The greens are facing that way. If that was green, they were facing this way, they can have a full bond between the two doors into one bond, and it wouldn't be good. I could walk through this door and it would trip that door. So that's why that's the way it is. And just for clarification too, if you ever see these safety sensors blinking, see how that's blinking? That means there's something in the way, something obstructing it. There could be nothing in the way. It could be a spider web on the lens, or this accidentally got bumped by a garbage can. All you need to do is make sure once it stops blinking, that's how you know they're lined up. Same with this side. It blinks when something's in the way. So there's that. Now we're going to program yours to pull that back. Lock it into place. You're going to hit this black button. This up arrow is going to blink. And you want it to open just above the header. So right there. Now when closing, you don't want to get a flex in your rail. A slight flex is fine. If anything, it's like, looks like a U, no. See, that's flush. And now I'm gonna program that. And it's going up and down by itself now. These buttons that come with it should already be programmed to it, so you just want to double check. If they never are programmed, this white dot, sometimes it's yellow, could be other colors sometimes too. That's the learn button. You'll press it. Don't hold it, you'll just press it, and you'll put it in learn mode. I'll show you here coming up what I need to do. I'm putting it in learn mode. As you can see, that's lit up. That's learn mode. You have to think about 30 seconds or a minute to figure out. the code that you want to program to the opener or to program a remote. Openers are all installed. So close them.